The powers that be, please make this happen. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about a petition to change the Washington Commanders NFL football team back to the Washington Redskins. Now, this could happen, but it probably won't happen. And let me explain. The Redskins recently got sold. Remember, they were owned by Dan Snyder and his family. Then there was some workplace drama, some allegations involving cheerleaders and everything else, which is a different story. So for now, I digress. The team has been sold to a guy by the name of Josh Harris and a few other people. And they don't call Mr. Harris an owner. They call him a managing partner because that's racist to say owner nowadays. But anyway, so there are going to be some changes made, although they say that the Redskins name is not going to be one of them. But I hope they change their mind, because I'm from Virginia. I grew up with the Redskins. Like, either in my particular neck of the woods, either you were a Redskins fan or a Cowboys fan. That's it. There was no other, no Carolina Panthers or nothing crazy. No, Washington Redskins or Cowboys. Cowboys, that was America's team. The Redskins was our team because we're in Virginia. They played right there, about 3 hours away. That was our team. Nobody ever thought that it was racist. Nobody ever thought that it was somehow a slight to Native American people. It was never that. And as a matter of fact, I know plenty of Native Americans that appreciate the Redskins name and all the regalia, the colors, everything. I'm not sure who was the big brain genius behind changing the name from the Redskins to the Commanders. But before I go any further into it, we have a news clip here about the petition. If you want to see the clip in full without my commentary, link as always will be in the description. If you're on IG, visit the link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
There's a petition that has over 65,000 signatures to change the Washington Commanders name back to the Washington Redskins. The petition was created by the Native American Guardians Association. Now, back in 2020, the team retired the Redskins name after 87 years, after many felt the name was offensive to Native Americans. Now, I feel like the NFL will never approve this, but I reached out to the group to find out why they want the old name back.
Everybody that I talked to wants the name back and thinks it's an honor and is upset and offended by not having the name Redskins. Redskins is a Redskin warrior. It's an adjective. They don't look at it as a slur. Just because somebody changed the definition and then argues what it isn't doesn't make it a slur. They don't believe it. They don't understand it. And quite frankly, they're fed up.
Now, to be transparent, Tony Andrews isn't Native American, but this guy is Lance Wetzel, the son of Walter Wetzel, a Blackfeet tribe member who designed the Redskins logo.
And that's what I was saying earlier. A Native American man designed the logo. So he designed a logo in his own image. But now people that are probably not even Native, mostly, are going to tell him, a Native, that the logo that he designed is offensive towards Natives. Make that make sense.
Back in 2020, he too felt the same way about the change.
It's disheartening. I think it takes away from the Native Americans. That logo represented who we are. That connection is gone now.
Now, I asked Washington Commander fans to share their take with me, and some fans said, have every fan sign a petition as they enter the gates into FedEx Week 1, while fans like Reginald tweeted, "Let's stop the foolishness."
Let's pause for a minute. You see the little hashtag right there, HTTR, hell to the Redskins. All right, hell to the Commanders. That ain't hell to the, everything was about Native. It was about celebrating Natives. It wasn't about mockery or belittling or anything like that. It was nothing like that at all. Okay, it's simple. But, you know, people, when they get offended nowadays in this year, in these 2020s, everybody is offended at something.
I wish the Harris Group would put out a statement saying this is not going to happen. But hold up. Ever since the new owners took over the Washington Commanders, they've used Washington's original name many times.
The Redskins, the then Redskins.
I gave up the Steelers for the then Redskins.
To buy
the Washington Redskins.
But
All right, Magic. Shout out to Magic, just saying it how it is. Shout out to Magic. Now, I don't think he did that intentionally, but he did it. So shout out to him.
The spokesperson tells me the owners making a historical reference to watching and rooting for the Redskins does not signify a shift, nor does it change the reasons for dropping the name. But according to team president Jason Wright, the owners are listening.
If it comes to discussing it, we'll discuss it.
Why is that so important, though?
I mean, because the fans are talking about it. You can't just turn a deaf ear to something that a segment of the fan base is passionate about.
A segment of the fan base. This is what most fans think. Most fans, like, I'm from Virginia. Like, this is Redskins fans are all over the place. It's not nobody ever thought that it was racist. And I'm talking about I'm black in Virginia, and I grew up in areas that was like 100% black. And everybody's, again, Redskins fan or a Cowboys fan. Never have I ever heard somebody say, I'm not a Redskins fan because the name Redskins is offensive. Never have I heard that. Not from natives, not from blacks, not from whites, at least not in my neck of the woods. Now, if you're bringing in these people from all over the world, all over the country, that now want to live in Annandale, Virginia, Fairfax, Loudoun, Berkeley Springs, West Virginia, that commute an hour to D.C. to work on some ridiculous board, getting paid six figures and more a year. Yeah, they're going to say it's offensive because they're going to say everything's offensive. Everything is offensive to them. But let's keep on going.
Well, let's see what the Commanders do next, because the team confirms at 12:54 p.m. today, the group that created the petition delivered this 28-page letter to the new owners requesting the team to change the name back to the Redskins, though.
Based on what Jason Wright said there, it sounds like they're just listening.
Yeah, you can always listen, but you don't have to act upon it.
Right.
Yeah, they're just listening, but it probably won't do anything, but I hope that they do. Now, here is, speaking about, I think that's him right there, Jason Wright, the president. They say Commanders president shuts down any possibility of name being changed back to Redskins. Now, this came out just a couple of days ago. The video I showed you was from about a few days ago. Let me see if I can see the actual date on that. That is from 3 weeks ago, actually. And then this is from August 30th, 2023. So just a couple of days ago, they said that there's no chance of that happening. They're shutting it down. All right, so when they said they were listening, they were just saying that just because they didn't want to shut people down that way. So they said the Commanders could see plenty of changes under new owner Josh Harris. Changing their name back to Redskins won't be one of them. So that's that. But they really should. Commanders, I mean, I'm not really a fan. I mean, if you're a new person watching football for the first time, or you're kind of casual, it's not really going to be a big deal. But if you're from Virginia, you're from D.C., Maryland, and you grew up with the Redskins your whole life, now all of a sudden in the Commanders, if I'm just casually watching television, which I don't do a lot anymore, but if I'm just casually watching and the game is on and they say the Commanders versus the Raiders, I'm like, who is that? I don't want to see that. And then Thanksgiving time, Commander versus the Cowboys. Commanders and Cowboys. I don't make no Cowboys and Indians. Let's get that back. Okay, so the president, not the owner, that's him, the president, Jason Wright, pardon me. I think the owner's name is Josh Harris. If I'm wrong, let me know. Let me see if I can. So the owner is Josh Harris, but the president right here is Jason Wright. And he says that under no circumstances would the Commanders be changing their name back to the Redskins. It's not being considered, period. Back in 1993, when the team was still located in Boston, I didn't know that they were in Boston. The now Commanders saw the name change from Braves to Redskins. They held that name all the way until 2020 when it was changed simple to Washington Football Team. I remember that, WFT. After numerous discussions, the name Commanders was settled on after their official branding. I mean, to be totally frank, Washington Football Team is better than the Commanders, but overall, the Redskins would be better. And I wonder if the Atlanta Braves are going to face that same kind of problem. Okay, because we still have the Atlanta Braves baseball team, Major League Baseball team down there, Cobb County, right there. And that area is beautiful. The Battery and all of that right there in Marietaville, that particular part of Atlanta. I love it. I love it. So are they going to remove all the regalia? You can't do the tomahawk chop anymore. Same thing they did to the Cleveland Indians. Is that going to happen to the Atlanta Braves? I sure hope not. But as I close, I want to say this. Shout out to all the Native Americans out there. The Washington football team, Commanders, whatever they want to call themselves nowadays, when they were the Redskins, I never saw it as anything offensive. I never thought about that being a moment to try to insult or mock or be racist toward natives. It was never that. It was always celebratory, celebrating their culture, because often natives get kind of forgotten. You put them on their res, they're over there struggling, and you don't think about them at all. But then when you see the sports teams, you can, at least for that time, not forget about them. You can celebrate their culture, their history, and their heritage. But now they're the Commanders, and it's going to get to a certain point where there's no more Atlanta Braves, Cleveland Indians, some of the hockey teams, all of that. They're going to be gone. And then what? When are you really going to celebrate their culture as you should celebrate their culture? I can't really call it, but I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about the new name, Washington Commanders, and the previous name, Washington Football Team, after it was changed from the Washington Redskins? Which one of the three names do you prefer in order from best to worst? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. They should have kept the Washington Redskins name. I grew up on that name as a little kid. It was never a problem. The only thing you would say about the Redskins negative is if they were garbage. And a lot of times they sucked. But it wasn't because their name was the Redskins. It wasn't about the Native American regalia. It was about their on-the-field performance. That was the only issue ever that was any kind of way negative toward the team. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.